everyone. Today we are going to talk about a different topic, and the topic is flywheels and governors. So let us see today flywheels and governors. What are they? What are flywheels and governors? Now, in short, these are two, you can say, machine elements, machine parts, or devices, you can say, and these devices are expected to perform certain function. Now, we are going to learn this topic mainly from the point of view of the principle, how it works, rather than going into the theory behind it. If you read the books, you will find lot of theoretical things are written there, lot of derivations and calculations and so many things, graphs and all. We are not going to do to that extent. Our syllabus is restricted to the extent of understanding what is a flywheel all about, what is a governor all about, what does it do, what is its function, what is its principle. So we are going to learn it to that much extent only. So let us see what is this. We will start in fact with governors. I'll write here governors. What are governors? I'll describe you certain things and then we will go to the definition and then we'll study the different types and so on. So governor, if you see what it is all about, it is a device which is fitted to, in case of certain prime movers, it is fitted. Now what is a prime mover? Prime mover is a part which moves first, prime mover. Prime mover. Prime mover is a device which is the starting point of the energy. Like say for example electric motor. Electric motor is the starting point of energy. So you get the energy from electric motor by whatever way. Say for example you are providing electrical energy to motor and motor is giving you mechanical energy. So it is a source of energy which we feed to the machine so that the machine works. So like that you can say engine is a prime mover, because again in case of engine we are supplying energy in the form of fuel, and that fuel energy is converted into mechanical energy so that the various different parts of the machine run when they are connected to engine. So motor is a prime mover, engine is a prime mover, turbine also can be called as a prime mover. At the moment we are thinking of just one prime mover, that is engine. So let us talk about engine as a prime mover and see how it works. So as all of you know how engine works, suppose I draw this box to represent engine. Then to this engine we are supplying fuel energy. So fuel energy in the form of fuel is given to the engine. Then whatever process happens takes place inside engine, that takes place, and the result is we get mechanical energy at the output shaft of the engine. So here you get mechanical energy as the output. In what form? Mechanical energy in what form? You will say that there is some torque available, there is certain speed available, and then you know the formula for torque and speed which gives you power. So I will just write that also. So power is 2 pi nt by 60, which all of you know. So where T and N are involved. So that is the amount of power you get after you supply certain amount of electrical fuel energy to the engine, which all of us know. Now see what happens. This energy, when it is available, that is given to some load. Load means anything which you want to drive. Say for example, load could be a vehicle. So suppose this is a vehicle, then this energy goes to the vehicle. That means whatever are the machine parts of the vehicle, the end part is the wheel, and prior to wheel, from the wheel to the engine, in between this there are many other parts are there. So finally the fuel energy given to the engine gives mechanical energy as output, and that mechanical energy travels from engine to the wheels, and then the wheels rotate and the vehicle moves forward. So what we now say is that some energy is given by engine. How much energy is given? The energy required by the load. For the load to move, for the car to move, for the vehicle to move forward, it requires certain energy. So that energy is given to the vehicle by engine so that it works. Okay, this is a very simple thing. What I am talking about is nothing great, just a simple thing we are discussing. Now we are going to see what is the role of governor here. See, although I have drawn engine outside, it is not outside the vehicle, it's just a representation. Engine is inside the vehicle, and then we supply, say, maybe I'll draw that, because otherwise some students will get confused. That there is the engine, we supply fuel, and then the energy travels with certain elements in between. I have just drawn that by dot. So these dotted elements are, maybe there is a clutch, there is a gearbox, there is a coupling. So through all that the energy travels to the wheels, and then the engine moves, the vehicle moves forward. Okay, so that is the simple thing in which the vehicle moves because of engine as a source of power. Now see what happens. This vehicle is traveling, and say I will draw like this. This is the same vehicle. Same vehicle is traveling forward, and suddenly there is a slope. That means this vehicle is now coming across a slope, and because of that, what is going to happen is, since it has to climb up the slope, now its energy requirement is more than what it is during this time. When it was traveling on a horizontal road, it was requiring certain amount of power. The moment it comes across a slope, since it has to climb up, now it is requiring more power. That means now it is asking, the wheels are asking the engine to give me more power because I have to climb up. Now, what will engine do? Now engine should do something so that it can provide extra power, extra energy, so that it can move up. Now from where that extra energy will come, that is the question. Who is going to understand this problem and tell the engine to provide more energy? Now this is the device which does this work. So I'll draw here, I'll just draw as a symbol that on this engine somewhere a governor is fitted, a small kind of a device is fitted in the engine. Now what does this device do? This device is working like a sensor. This device understands that there is a increase, there is a more requirement. The requirement of the energy has now increased because of the slope. So now the engine should provide more energy. That it will provide when? It will provide more energy when it will be given more fuel, because fuel is the one which is the input energy which is converted into mechanical energy. So if you need more mechanical energy, that means you are supposed to supply more fuel energy. That means we are supposed to now deliver or supply more fuel to the engine so that it will deliver also more energy. Now this work is done by governor. That means governor understands that engine requires more fuel, and according to that, governor does something so that the fuel supply, see I'll draw just like this, this fuel supply which is shown like this fuel supply increases because governor has done something, and the fuel supply given to the engine increases so that the engine produces more energy so that it is capable of going up. Now how that happens, that is what we will see afterwards. But this is only telling us what is the role of a governor. Okay, this is one thing. Now take the other case. Instead of say slope, instead of upward slope, suppose it is not there, it is the other case. That means the vehicle is now going to go down. Instead of going up, it is going down. Now see, the situation is different. Now what happens, as it will travel down, because of the slope, because of the gravity, it will not require the energy that was there during the horizontal level, because on its own also it can come down to some extent. So now what happens, the fuel given to the engine is appearing to be more than required. That means now the engine doesn't require more fuel what it was requiring during this time. That means by some means you are expected to reduce the fuel, so that if you reduce the fuel, the engine energy supply will be less, which will be sufficient because it is capable of going down due to the slope. So again the governor will come into picture, and it will automatically reduce the fuel supply so that engine will produce also less energy. So this is precisely what happens by the use of governor. This is exactly the role of governor for doing all this. Now let us jot this down, whatever we have described. Let us jot this down. So I will dictate, give you some time, and you just write down a few lines which are related to what is discussed just now. So what you can do is you can do two things. One thing is you can draw this just as a sketch to understand what was described. So the moment you look at this figure afterwards, you will recollect what was discussed. And in addition to that, I will be just giving you few lines of notes so that it will be there on paper. So just write down what is a governor. What is a governor? Next line. It is a device. It is a device used to maintain speed of engine. Used to maintain speed of engine within prescribed limits. Used to maintain speed of engine within prescribed limits for changing load conditions. For the changing load conditions, the load conditions change. For the changing load conditions, by adjusting the input energy, given to the engine. By adjusting the input energy given to the engine. So here we are written in short what a governor does. What it does is, it does the work of adjusting the input energy as per the requirement, basically. That is what we have described here. We are trying to understand. At that time we described this, and then we have written those things in few lines. Now, having done this, let us see how we go about further. You can just sketch this figure. Okay, so now we'll see types of governors. The basic two types are there. Centrifugal type of governors, centrifugal, and the other is inertia. Centrifugal governors and inertia governors. Now we are going to learn about centrifugal governors and not inertia governors. Okay, so just write down few lines about what is a centrifugal governor. I'll just dictate here. Centrifugal governors. Write down how they work. Change in centrifugal force of rotary masses. Change in centrifugal force of rotary masses due to change in speed. Due to change in speed of prime mover. Due to change in speed of prime mover is utilized for adjusting the input energy of prime mover. Is utilized for adjusting the input energy of prime mover. So what we have written is how the centrifugal governors work. So what it says, that there are some masses and the centrifugal force which is there on masses, that is utilized for the purpose of adjusting the input energy. So whatever we have described earlier, that the fuel energy needs to be adjusted, fuel energy needs to be increased, supply of fuel should be increased, supply of fuel should be reduced. That is done by what? That is done by the centrifugal effect of masses. On the masses there is a centrifugal effect, and that centrifugal effect is made use of for this purpose. How this is done, that we will now see. In this centrifugal, what we are going to learn, there are subtypes, there are certain examples. So you can say gravity, I'll write like this. Type of loading, I'll write this way. Type of loading, how they are loaded. So based on type of loading, there are say two types: gravity operated and the other is spring operated. Spring operated. So centrifugal governors, based on their type of loading, they are classified as gravity operated and spring operated. Now we are going to learn, in the gravity operated case, we are going to learn two types: Porter, you can write down, Porter governor and Ruel governor. And in the spring operated type, we are going to learn only one, Hartnell governor. So now we are going to learn total 3 types of governors, 1, 2 and 3. We are going to learn 3 different types of governors. Out of that, these 2 types, they fall under gravity operated type of centrifugal governors, and Hartnell governor is the one which falls under spring operated type of centrifugal governor. Okay. So I will draw now a sketch of the first one. I will draw it here, Porter governor. So Porter governor you can write down. And draw this sketch what I am now drawing. It looks like this. There is a mass here. This is weight. Then here okay, so I have drawn this sketch of a Porter governor, and now let us see how this works so that whatever we have discussed earlier, that means it is a unit which is sensing the change in the requirement of the load, and accordingly it is going to make the changes in the fuel supply. How does it do? Before that we also said that centrifugal governors, they are the ones where the masses are there and the centrifugal force on the masses results into adjustment that is required in the input energy. So let us say how the device works. It is a small device, and you can see this is a shaft which is rotating, and this is connected to right here to engine. So somewhere it is connected to engine by some method, so that engine where it rotates, this will also rotate, the shaft will also rotate. Now see what happens. The arrangement is such that there is some heavy weight here, then on the weight bracket and on the shaft here there are some hinge points, and some levers are there, and there are masses attached like this. So when it is rotating, what is happening is these masses, they are rotating. So when masses rotate, what happens? They develop some kind of a centrifugal force. So they are experiencing some centrifugal force, so that they are going to move away. But at a particular speed, they are in a particular position. So I am showing them here and here for a, let us say, particular speed that is going on. And you can say that the vehicle is moving like what we have discussed earlier, that we have drawn one vehicle like this and it is moving this way. So till the time it is moving in the horizontal line, that means the requirement is constant and it is providing the requirement, is supplying necessary amount of energy as per the requirement. So everything is stable. So in the stable condition, it is moving horizontal and the masses are here. Now see what happens. The moment the slope comes, now what is going to happen? Now the engine is going to slow down because of the slope, because now it requires more energy but it is not available. So the first thing is it will try to slow down. So the moment speed drops, what will happen? The masses will try to come close. Because the speed is less, so the centrifugal force which is trying to throw it out, it will be less. So the masses will try to come closer to the axis of the shaft. Now the moment they come close, what will happen is this particular bearing which is shown, that bearing will move down because this is moving close, so this will move down. So I'll just show like this. If this moves closer, so if this moves closer, then this will move down. What will move down? This particular part will move down. So when this part moves down, this is a lever. What is drawn here is a lever. So this is the fulcrum point of the lever. So suppose there is a lever like this. So when this is going down like this, the other part will go up. And there is some mechanism connected here so that the movement of the lever is finally given to the whoever is the supplier of the fuel. So in the machine, in the engine, there could be some carburetor or whatever. Some device is there through which the fuel goes to the engine. So the flow of the fuel will be controlled by this movement. So this movement is such that this will result into increasing the supply of the fuel. So when the lever goes down, I'll write here, fuel supply increases. Because of this downwards motion of the lever like this, fuel supply increases. So when the fuel supply increases, what happens is, now the engine has got more fuel which was required for climbing up, so that its speed gets adjusted accordingly and it is now in a good position to move up because now it has been given more fuel. And why it has got more fuel? Because this lever has gone down and the fuel supply increased. And why this has gone down? Because the masses have come close. Why masses have come close?